My God, where's the apple cart from Beijing that it said the Great Wall of Andrea? That's what I feel like I need here. How about Mary Carrillo, our host for tonight? This is very overwhelming, but I want to certainly start off by giving kudos to Julie Schwartz-Simons for capturing my story on and off the field. To my beloved child who has to have the first and last word, and to my friend, dear friend of 30 years, thank God we started when we were 10, and a woman who we know will be up on this stage herself, Pam Oliver, for lending her mellifluous voice to my story. And by the way, if you are in my birthday book, you will get a card for perpetuity. I want to give thanks to Ken, Brandon, Michael, Carrie, Karen, all the folks from Sports Video Group and the Sports Broadcasting Hall of Fame who make this event so special for all, in addition to all the people behind the scenes, as usual, that we don't know who they are, but we know what a huge role they play, so thank you very much. Huge congratulations, as you've heard throughout this wonderful evening, to all the other honorees. I know that we wish that Chris Mortensen was walking up on the stage, but as hard as it was, Alex, you did a great job. In addition, I am thrilled to have as my classmates Brian Gumbel and, of course, Tommy Roy. So, no two men are more important in my life than my son Will, who you've seen is all grown up now, and my husband John. People will ask me, is your husband in the business? And I say, oh, no, he's a civilian. But without him, his support and his wise counsel, I am simply not on this stage, nor would I have the career that I do. Plus, can we all say, can you imagine being married to me? I mean, come on, not the easiest task. So, you know how the Pro Football Hall of Fame has its knock on the door process of notifying members, new members? Well, I had my own version of that. So around the 4th of July, Leslie, who, like Madonna, only goes by one name, she kept leaving messages for me, and finally she said, I know it's the holiday and nothing's wrong, but I really need you to call me. I'll be brief. So I call her back, I apologize for the delay in getting back to her, and she was practically in tears telling me about the news of my induction. And to hear this from her was so meaningful. As I've always said of Leslie, the doyenne, she's number one, and I'll ride shotgun with you anytime, babe. So, one great thing about having worked for virtually every network is that on a special night like tonight, they're all in the house. ESPN, NBC, HBO, CBS, Amazon, and the NFL are all represented. I am so grateful for the truly important relationships that I continue to have at all these places. Now, as you've heard pretty consistently throughout this evening, every one of us knows that our success is based on and defined by teamwork. We're absolutely no different than those teams that we cover. I have worked with and learned from the absolute best of the best. Now, of course, I am biased, but that starts with the Real Sports production crew, as well as the greatest live event producers, Fred Godelli and Tommy Roy, and director Drew Esikoff of this or any generation. But very simply, this Hall of Fame and this audience are literally a who's who of why I am standing here. But staying consistent with who I am, in seminal moments like this, it makes me think of the why. Correct, Betsy Riley? What makes a potential Hall of Fame career? Certainly many of the same qualities that we all share: work ethic, passion, drive, determination. One of my producers once described me as, I came out of the womb determined. And as many of you know, I do have an aversion to the word no. But by the way, when my son was in kindergarten, he's sitting there in his playroom, and I ask him, "How was your day?" And he says, "I don't want to be interviewed, Mommy." And my husband hears that and says, "No one says that to her." But when it came to thinking of a career theme, I came up with two words: faith and trust. Steve Sable and Bob Ryan took a chance on a young sports writer and made her NFL Films' first female producer, director, writer, editor. They had faith. Then 5 years later, John Walsh and Steve Anderson took a chance on a young producer and made her ESPN's first female correspondent. By the way, I always told Walsh I was his best draft pick because what do? You project. He projected me as a journalist. John and Steve had faith. Dick Ebersol hired me to be a sideline reporter, something I'd never aspired to be or had never done, but he had faith in me, and I got to work with the dream team of broadcasts for the NFL and the Olympics. Then one day, my agent, Phil DiPicciotto, called me and asked me if I was interested in calling NFL games for Amazon. And my initial reaction was, "Are you kidding me? I can't do that." And Phil said to me, "Look, the deal may not come through. It may not work, may not have time, we just may not agree. But I will not accept that you can't do it." He had faith in me. Phil, I thank you for your friendship, your honesty, and your support, and too often, perhaps, for having to be my Dr. Phil over the years. And then there's the trust that subjects have put in me to tell their stories in a fair, informative, and illuminating way. A heavy burden to do it right at times, especially when stories are about death or addiction or loss. Just to name a few: Joe and Megan Jaravicius, Barrett Robbins, Teddy Bruschi, Chris Carter, Michael Jordan, John Daly, Kobe Bryant, Phil Jackson, Bill Parcells, Gary Sheffield, Elena Deladon, Jim Irsay, and Mark Davis, and Randy Moss. And our thoughts go out to him as a cancer survivor. Here's hoping Randy's the comeback player of the year. However, there was one time when trust in me was not expressed. Tommy, you may remember split times in the pool or how many over par a golfer was from 3 decades ago, but I'm not sure if you recall this. 2011, Duel in the Pool, which was an event they were trying to make like the Ryder Cup of swimming, but the athletes didn't shave for it and they didn't wear their slick suits. Now, remember, Tommy always lauded my preparation and knew that I prided myself on listening to interviews. So Ryan Lochte wins a race, Dan throws to me poolside, and I asked Lochte, "How seriously are you taking this competition?" And Lochte says, "Well, you know, I'm wearing a banana hammock." And Tommy starts yelling in my ear, "Don't follow up, don't follow up, don't follow up." Tommy, did you think I was gonna ask him about the size? What did you think? Sorry, my nickname has always been the world's smallest truck driver, and I guess I'm living up or down to that. Or as my son calls me, a 14-year-old boy. But Tommy, thank you, I've gotten a lot of mileage out of that story. So, in wrapping up, I'm super proud of what I've accomplished in my career, and it's taken me a lot of therapy to be able to say that out loud. But I am so grateful to still be in demand and challenged and learning. We all stand on this stage and thank those who have paved the way for us to be here, the proverbial never forget where you came from. But instead of just looking back, I want to pay it forward. I've aspired to make an impact with my storytelling, but it's equally important for me to have made an impact on others. And at this juncture in my career, I think what makes me feel the most proud is my tree. Women like Maggie Burbank, Lauren Gaffney, Hilary Guy, Aditi Kinkabwala, Amy Salmonson, Julie Schwartz-Simons, and the amazing Betsy Riley. Now, some of my male proteges wanted to be included too, but I remember my walk-up song was "It's Ladies' Night," so I'm not necessarily going there. But to bring the AK portion of your program full circle, most of all, I'm proud of my son. We started off hearing your 7-year-old voicemail message, and I marvel at you now as a 24-year-old, a true prodigy in the aviation industry, pursuing your area of passion. So, thank you all so much for sharing with me this incredible honor, and have a great evening, or as my son says, wherever your final destination may be.